Despite having hit the level cap after recording this, my feelings about the level cap have not changed. So, let's get into them. Recently on stream, there's been a growing discussion about level cap content, and I feel like this may be due in part to some very terrific creators like Asian Invasion Plays and their various videos discussing a variety of builds and methods to actually deal with high level, if not actually level capped content. And of course, with this growing discussion on level cap content comes a growing desire from our little community to actually play some level cap content. Now, here's the thing. From what I gather, in order to actually reach that level of content, you basically have to sit in an endless mission for a particularly long time, at least a couple of hours. From what I gather, if you sit in like a survival mission, you're gonna have to be there for a good 3 to 4, if not 5 hours. If you wanna sit in a disruption mission, which apparently is the best way to reach level cap content from what I've heard, then you could be able to get to that level cap within 2 hours, but you have to know what you're doing. So I guess for someone like me who doesn't know what they're doing, it's going to take around about 4 if not 5 hours as well, or maybe 3 hours, I don't know, but at least that's not going to be as mind-numbing and boring as a survival mission. Fair enough. So I don't know about y'all, but I am someone who works full-time, and therefore I don't really have that kind of time to just throw a few hours into WarFrame and do essentially the same thing again and again and again. Even if it's disruption mission, as interesting and as fun as disruption missions can be, you're still doing the same thing again and again and again, against the same enemies again and again and again, in the same place again and again and again, with the same WarFrame again and again and again, and the weapons and the mods and all that jazz. I can barely stay awake in a survival mission for more than 20 minutes. I would be surprised if I could stay awake in a disruption mission doing the same thing again and again and again for about half an hour before I kind of just want to go and do something else. Because I don't know about you guys, but if I'm doing the same thing for like half an hour and it's not work, I would suddenly wonder, is my time really being used properly? I feel like I could be doing something else. So that's why I have decided to finally actually do this video where I want to introduce an idea that I hope DE could actually do, because I like the thought of fighting enemies that are so ludicrously high level that they could probably kill me in one shot. Or even my perfected mag could probably struggle real good and proper, in which case, hey, finally an actual challenge. So this is the idea. DE should introduce an item, a one-time use craftable item that supercharges the enemy level scaling such that you could reach level cap in endless missions a lot faster. If you were to be fighting in a survival mission, and that survival mission normally takes around about 5 hours or thereabouts to get to that level cap, it'll reduce it down to 30 minutes. It's still in my opinion, a long time to be doing the same thing constantly, but it's a lot better than 5 hours. In a similar fashion, if it takes apparently 2 hours in a disruption mission to reach the level cap, then let's reduce it down to 10 minutes. And then you could just keep fighting level cap enemies for the remainder of the 2 hours if you really wanted to stick there for 2 hours. Now, credit where credit is deserved. This idea was further developed on stream in the chat by Alchemist N2O. So big shout out to him or her or them, I don't know, but big shout out to them for helping me develop this particular idea. Essentially, the idea is for there to be a blueprint for this item that, when used in a mission, either instantly, so snapping from like level 100 enemies straight up to level 9,999 enemies, it might be a little bit too fast, or greatly, I feel like this might be the bad idea, greatly increase the rate at which enemy level scaling grows over time during endless missions. You load into an endless mission, and at some point, maybe not at the start, but at some point, you use this item, and then your insert loaders here will say, hey, you have chosen to use this weapon. Prepare yourself for the Veterans Battleground. Of course, the next question, hopefully this explains the general idea of how this item works. The next question will be, okay, hold up. How would we get this item? I feel like a prerequisite for an item like this might not be necessary, but if it did, I would probably assume that completion of the new war would be that prerequisite. As soon as you have done the new war, you have at least played enough of the game to have played all of the game, because in order to even get to the new war, you need a Railjack, and you need a Necromech, which basically means you will need to go into the various other different kinds of content in the game. After that, I think this would also be a great opportunity for DE to introduce another gigantic resource sink, because, oh boy, we could use a few more massive resource sinks, specifically on common resources, and I want to state this again, common resources. The helmet is a great way to sink a lot of resources if you happen to have a lot of resources, great, but it is also a bit of a drain on the very rare resources for things like bile and I think pheromones as well. I want this specifically to be a common resource sink, because I don't know about you guys. Okay, I do know about some of you guys. Some of y'all may have millions or tens of millions of nanospores, salvage, ferrite, alloy plate, potentially even titanium as well. I don't know. I certainly have 3 or so million of these kinds of resources. We have heaps. And there's also really no purpose for us veterans to be using these resources, or at least major farming these resources. So I think it would be great if DE introduces a reason to just major farm these resources again. 300,000 salvage, 300,000 nanospores, 300,000 ferrite, and 300,000 alloy plate. That is my proposed price to build this particular item in the foundry. That's what I am suggesting. I feel like it would also be great to tie Railjack in some way, shape, or form. So, I don't know, maybe 300,000 titanium, which is the super duper common resource in Railjack. Could potentially use that to make it stronger. It's just a thought. What would this item actually be? Of course, is then going to be the next question. What would it actually be? Is it just going to be some sort of gear item? Yes. But what would it end up being? I think it would be great if it was a rally banner. Instead of turning it into a Steel Path Plus banner, how about a Platinum banner? How about a Star Platinum banner? I don't know, the name's pending. Maybe not that. We'll probably go with something else. You let me know in the comments what you would like this thing to be called. So, of course, then comes the most major question of them all. Would there be any reason to fight these high-level enemies? Is there going to be any additional rewards to fighting these high-level enemies? No. As of right now, from what I gather, as far as I know, based entirely off what I'm told, which is probably the most flimsiest way of me saying I have no idea what I'm talking about, there doesn't appear to be any additional reward to fighting level cap enemies. Folks who actually fight level cap enemies seem to just do it to fight level cap enemies. That's the reward. So that's basically what it's there for. If DE wants to actually provide some sort of incentive, cool. I don't really care. I just want to fight high level enemies. That's the deal. Frankly, I don't even care that I get double drops or something along the lines of double drops in Steel Path missions. I just want to fight higher level enemies. That's it. That's the reward. That's the main reward for doing Steel Path missions. Before the Acolytes showed up in Steel Path, I was still doing Steel Path missions exclusively anyway. Because that's the only thing that matters. We're fighting higher level enemies that have a significantly, but still relatively lower chance of actually killing you. Yeah. I just want to fight higher level enemies. That's the deal. So, it'd be nice if there was something included. Like how Acolytes became part of Steel Path, and therefore you could A, fight Acolytes a lot more often, and then also B, get a lot more Steel Assets. Cool. But if nothing comes of it, I don't care. I would still use this item borderline religiously. So that's pretty much it. Let me know about all this in the comments below. Like I said, I want to take my perfected mag, the Platinum Arrow, the absolute pinnacle, the final expression of mag, to fight ludicrously high level enemies. And I want to be able to do it without falling asleep midway through. That's the deal. I just do not want to sit there for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours losing my mind, and then having every single existential crisis basically flood my mind during the build up to that particular level cap battle. Because, you know, shouldn't I be doing something else? Shouldn't I be, you know, finding another job? I don't know. Shouldn't I be looking for a new house? Shouldn't I be going out and being with friends? Shouldn't I be getting a freaking girlfriend? Shouldn't I be doing a lot better with my life? Oh my god, what have I done? But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more WarFrame content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.